This is a PC I wrapped with ultra realistic looking wood grain vinyl wrap. I'll show you how I did this in the video, so let's get started. The first step is, as always, to ensure the surface area you are going to apply the vinyl to is cleaned well. I use a mixture of isopropyl alcohol and water in a roughly 70% to 30% mix of alcohol to water as the cleaner and a microfiber cloth. Once the surface is cleaned of any dirt, debris, and oil, cut a piece of vinyl that's big enough to cover the entire surface area with a little extra all the way around. Here you can see I have my piece already cut, and the vinyl I'm using is 3M DiNoc architectural vinyl. Once I've confirmed my piece will fit, I peel the backing paper a little bit to expose some of the adhesive side of the vinyl. I then crease the paper so it doesn't try to roll back up on me, and with the exposed adhesive, I place the vinyl on the faceplate surface and tack it towards the top. Once I'm certain everything is in place, I proceed to peel away the rest of the backing paper as you see me do in the video, and then with a squeegee I apply the vinyl smoothly onto the surface of the faceplate. Next, with my utility knife, I carefully trim the excess vinyl from the sides of the faceplate. Here I run the side of my knife along the side edge of the faceplate, which I was using as my cutting guide. It may be a bit hard to see, but when I cut the excess vinyl, I'm holding the knife at a slight angle with the tip of the blade pointed away from the body of the faceplate. And this is to ensure I don't scratch the sides of the faceplate, as well as to reduce any pick edges or slightly overhanging vinyl that might be left behind. Take your time when you're doing this process, and feel free to do any trim ups as you feel necessary once you cut off most of the vinyl. With the sides trimmed off, it's time to trim out all the detail work on the front of the faceplate. In particular, I'm trimming out the power button as well as the CD tray hole and the other input ports. I start by using my micro squeegee to help trace out the lines around the power button, which is a triangle shaped, as well as the center line that runs up and down the middle of the plate. The purpose of doing this is to define the lines that you'll be cutting. Each one of those lines is a natural seam with a gap that you can run your knife along, ensuring a clean cut without cutting or damaging the surface. With the power button and center lines traced out, I then carefully use my utility knife to cut out the vinyl from these areas. Again, take your time doing this, taking care not to cut the faceplate surface. Carefully peel away the vinyl once you finish cutting. Next, I cut out the port for the CD tray and then carefully cut the vinyl, running the side of my blade against the inside edges of the CD port. Once you've cut out the main portion, do any trims you need, as you see me doing in the video, to ensure a nice clean finish. Next, I cut out the various ports on the faceplate, and I started with the SD card reader, then I moved on to the USB ports, and then the headphone and mic jacks. With each one, it's essentially the same process. You can flip the faceplate over as necessary to find out where the ports are, then poke your knife somewhere in the middle of the vinyl to be cut out and make your way to an edge, then cut out the rest of the vinyl using the edge of the port to guide your blade. Again, take your time doing this so that you don't cut or damage your PC's faceplate. For cutting out the mic and headphone jack ports, you'll see that I used my micro squeegee to define the circle of the ports, then carefully cut out the ports following those lines. For these, I also cut from the back side to get the majority of the port cut out, then trimmed up the edges on the front side. And with those ports cut out, the faceplate is essentially wrapped. Do any fine trimming you feel necessary to ensure that everything looks clean, and then you can put the faceplate back on your PC if you are ready to do so. Next, it's time to wrap the sides and top of the PC. Here I started with the removable side cover, and as before, I started by cleaning the side cover with the alcohol water mixture and a microfiber cloth. And once cleaned, I then applied some knifeless tape around the ventilation holes. This area has to be cut out to ensure proper ventilation for the PC, but I didn't want to cut the vinyl directly on the surface of the cover plate, and so that is what the knifeless tape is for. To guide the application of the knifeless tape, you can see that two of the sides around the section of holes have a raised ridge. So I used that as my guide to lay down the knifeless tape. On the side without a ridge, I just tried to ensure the knifeless tape was laid down as straight as possible, gauging an even distance between the ventilation holes and the edge of the tape. With the knifeless tape now applied and ready, it's time to apply the vinyl. With my piece cut out and ready to go, for this one, my vinyl had one edge that was fully straight, what is known as the factory edge. And since the side of my cover is also straight, I decided to line up that factory edge of the vinyl along the side edge of the cover, and then tack the vinyl along that edge. And this will ensure a clean look that saves a cut that could potentially go wrong down the road. With that side edge laid down, I then applied the rest of the vinyl to my squeegee. Once the vinyl was all laid down, I then pulled the knifeless tape to cut away the vinyl around the ventilation holes. To get the knifeless tape started, fold over the tape and pinch or hold the folded area down and then quickly pull the end of the tape. This will then break the filament through the green carrier tape and get the cut started. With the knifeless tape now going, pull the filament through the vinyl. Be sure to pull the filament following the path of the tape to ensure a clean cut along the intended shape. Once you've cut all the way through with your knifeless tape, be sure to pull out the excess vinyl as well as the remaining carrier tape that has been split in two, one that you'll be able to see right away and one that's a little bit under the edge of the cut surface of the vinyl that you just used the knifeless tape on. After you've removed all that, take your squeegee and make sure you smooth down the sides that you just cut so that there are no edges that can lift. And with that portion done, you can now just trim off the excess vinyl hanging off the side edges of the cover, which would be in this case the bottom of the PC as you see me cutting now, and then the back side and the top side of the PC as well. Do this just like you did with the faceplate by using the side of your knife against the side edge of the cover in this case, and take your time doing it so you don't scratch or cut your PC case. The last thing to do is to wrap the top and other side of the PC case, and like before, ensure that the surface area is clean with your alcohol water mixture and your microfiber cloth. Next, get a piece that is sized to ensure that you have full coverage over the entire sides, and once you have that measured out, what I like to do is cut off some of the backing paper as you see me doing in the video. That way it can form like an anchor tacking point to double check that when I do lay the rest of the vinyl, it will be able to go all the way along the vinyl without any issue. When I know that's confirmed, I finish tacking the vinyl and then peel away the backing paper while I am applying the vinyl down onto the surface of the PC. When you reach the part of the case where it turns to a 90-degree bend, use your finger to roll the vinyl onto the side edge just before the area where it bends over, and then it helps to make some relief cuts off to the side as you see me do in the video, and then use your finger again to help roll the vinyl over that bend edge and then onto the other perpendicular surface to it. Those cuts just allow the vinyl to go over the edge of the bend a little bit more easily to apply it, and then apply to the next surface over, and then once you reach the other side of the bend, you effectively do the same process using your finger to get it started, make relief cuts off the side, and then apply the vinyl over the bend. Once you have that over the bend, and you can see I'm on the top other side of the PC case, I use my micro squeegee to define where the seam or gap is, where the side cover meets the main body part, and then use that to trim everything out. In this case, my micro squeegee was sharp enough that I was able to just cut the vinyl with the micro squeegee. The rest of the process is just kind of the same as when you cut out the other two pieces, the side removable cover and the faceplate. Use your micro squeegee to define any lines where there's gaps. In particular, the part of the case that meets the front faceplate, you'll use your micro squeegee to define that line. Then on the back sides, you just use the back edge of the PC case as your cut guide for your knife, and then same thing along the bottom. Again, using your micro squeegee to help define those gaps and those lines for cutting will make all the difference in ensuring a good clean cut. As always, take your time when doing this. Cut out the majority of the vinyl, and then if you need to, do any fine-tuned trimming that you feel is necessary to ensure that you have a nice clean look. And once you finish that whole process, make sure you go over the entire PC case again just with some squeegee strokes and maybe a little bit of heat, and this PC is for all intents and purposes now fully wrapped. Alright guys, hope this video was helpful for you. If you thought it was great, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And don't forget that bell notification button so you get notices when I post new content to the channel. Thanks again for watching guys, I appreciate all your support and have a great day.